Hi everyone, I hope that wherever you are and whatever you're doing, you are enjoying a good Sunday. Everyone deserves a weekend, so even if you're working, I hope you get time off soon. I would like to discuss with you today a topic about charging, but rather than talking about charging provision or anything like that, I want to make this one a little bit more directed. Namely, do charging providers care about the people who are using their network? You see, over the last 10 years or so that public charging networks have been a thing, I've noticed that a lot of companies don't really seem to worry all that much about how usable their network is. They're more interested in getting you using the charging stations and effectively taking your money, rather than the overall charging experience. I went up to Olympia this week and I had to stop at an Electrify America charging station, and the whole experience of using that charging station was sullied by the fact that the charging stations designs themselves were done in a way that suggests that the person who designed it doesn't really know what electric car drivers need or want from a charging station. Case in point, the first 3 pedestals that I used didn't want to connect to my car, and I finally convinced one to work by plugging my Chevrolet Bolt into it and then literally holding the weight of the cable until the car actually started charging. And I've been talking to other people who have CCS compatible cars and they've noted the same thing. You know, they have to physically hold the charge connector in place so that it doesn't, the weight of the cable doesn't actually pull it slightly out, so it doesn't connect properly. And that strikes me as someone who has, or of a company that has designed a charging station, not really thought about how it's going to be used, more a case of, well, these look good, they look like gas pumps, let's make money from them. And I've seen other companies do similar things to their charging stations, whether it's the interface they use, whether it's their telephone support. Now, some charging companies around the world have notoriously poor support, and the notion that, well, sorry, it's the weekend, your car is connected to the charging station, obviously it's broken, the charging station won't let go, and, well, your car will just have to stay there until Monday, which again strikes me as a company that really doesn't care about what their end users want. And my argument is, if you are designing a service that's going to be used 24/7, you need to also design a 24/7 support structure. But also you need to maybe engage a little more empathy when you have customers who have problems, rather than just, tell them that they have to wait until Monday. That's actually happened to me once, but luckily we were able to get the charging station separated from the car. That was back when I lived in the UK. And it makes me wonder if charging station providers are more interested in the money that they can make rather than the community. And after all, they are a business. Let's not pretend that they're anything but. Businesses are there to make money, either for the company owners, or if it's a publicly traded company, for their shareholders. And there isn't really a whole lot of altruism attached to running a business in the mainstream world. But when you come to electric vehicles, and we talk about electric vehicles, I think people are used to a little more altruism, partly because of the environmental benefits to driving an EV and how that all connects and ties together with the bigger picture. Obviously, we've had Tesla, the supercharger network, and the idea that people have gone to Tesla because it's different to all the other automakers, and the charging network is different to all the other charging networks. So my question to you today is, do you think that the charging station industry needs to care more about its customers? Are there charging providers who are great with their customers, who have great customer support, who actually care about the charging network and the experience that they give their customers? Or are there companies that just don't care? I've got a couple in my mind of companies that I think might be going above and beyond to support their customers, but I'm not going to talk about them here. I want to see if you mention them in the comments below. There are also similarly some charging providers, one in Europe and one over here in the US, that don't really seem to give a flying fig about what the end product is. They just want your money. So leave your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Oh, and by the way, let me know in the comments below if you think charging station providers should care about their customers, or if it's just a case of you're providing a service and leave it at that. I will be back next week with more great content. Just as a footnote, some of you reached out to me and said, what on earth happened this week? Because I posted a video or a photo from the launch of the Harley-Davidson Livewire. Long story, very short. Harley-Davidson didn't know we were based in Portland and didn't really know about us. We didn't know that they were holding a launch event in Portland, but thanks to a couple of readers and thanks to a couple of contacts I have in the industry, we were able to hook up midweek. We got a phone call yesterday. This is Friday when I'm filming this. We got a phone call Thursday evening saying, hey, can you come to the launch event tomorrow? And along with the invite was the words, there may not be a bike for you to ride. We're going to try, but there may not be a bike. Turns out there wasn't a bike. So while I got all my gear on, I was ready with my crash helmet. Unfortunately, due to things outside of my control and outside of Harley-Davidson's control, there wasn't a bike for me to ride, but they have promised me that they will put me on the press list for a loaner vehicle as soon as they become available. So we're going to try and make that happen. So just to tie up any loose ends there, if you were following us on Twitter and saw that we were in the Harley-Davidson launch and then we were back in the car, that is what was going on. I hope the rest of the weekend goes really well. As usual, if you'd like to support us, please do consider sending $1 or $2 our way every month through Patreon, or send us a coffee through Ko-fi. It's the end of the week. My brain has stopped working. And of course, there's also the swag store. We also have exciting news on the studio. We have been approved for the new studio, so more news on that very soon. That's it. Keep evolving.